Hello, this is Katie, and I wanted to do my second Halloween card. I did the first one probably too long ago, but I have a lot of time, so it'll probably be a very big Halloween card series. But I wanted to show you some stuff I got first. I went to Michael's and Joann's. I wanted some, or I needed some different ribbons, and so I got this one I actually saw undone. I might have to cut this open for you. There was another one that was opened, but it's like a wired purple ribbon with glitter in it. So I thought it was really cool. So you can like bend it however you want. And so I'm excited to use that on some cards and also like pocket letter and maybe some other tag stuff. There's just so much potential for Halloween. And then I got a two sheer like see-through ones for green and orange, and then a thin solid orange one. So just to get some Halloween colors. And then at Michael's I got from the Halloween section the washi tape that is shiny. And then it came with two. This has like bugs and stuff, but I got it for this, so you get that much on there. And then from, let's see, from Michael's, I got these. So I'm excited to use these on either cards or pocket letters or something like that. There's 4 sheets of phrases and stuff like that. And then I added little bats. I already did one round at the Michael's Halloween section, but this is what I got like yesterday. And then some paper, it's called ephemera, but some paper Halloween pieces, and I kind of looked through these last night. And then at Joann's, along with the ribbon, I got this one, which I also looked through a little bit. A lot of them are repeats, but there's like, well, he's an example. There's a small version of him and a tall version of the same guy. So a lot of them are repeats, just different sizes, but I wanted to hopefully do some like creepy Halloween stuff. It's really not my style, but I love it. And if you guys know of Serena B, I think it's B-E-E, on YouTube, she does a lot of cool stuff like that, and also like makes her own pattern paper and stuff that you can buy. It's digital, so you can print it. But she's really good at like creepy, cute Halloween stuff. So if you want to, I'll actually link her channel below. I will find it and I'll remember that so that you can go watch it if you're into Halloween stuff. And then from the, this is the last thing from the Lawn Fawn pre-order. I believe it was scrapbook.com. This is what I got. It wasn't much of like a haul to me, so I wasn't going to do a video just for this, but that's why I will just do it in the beginning of this card video. I got this set and the dies, which is called Pick of the Patch, so I'm pretty excited about that one. You'll probably see a couple cards with that in this Halloween series. And then the Thanks a Latte that I'm excited about, and to emboss the foam with white. I need to look into how people are making it look puffier. I think there's a special embossing powder, or they're embossing it like more than once. And so I'll look into that. But I got that one in the dies. The dies are a smaller set because most of it is words down here. And then I also got the Oh What Fun little Christmas bear. Kind of looks like Pooh Bear, and his dies. And then the caramel apple and the dies as well. So I'll be using those hopefully soon. And then so the card I wanted to do today is going to be similar to the few that I've posted today. I just wanted to make a couple and I just wasn't ready to film anything yet, but I will do that for you now. And I'll use a different set than the ones I was using. I was doing a lot of Hello Bluebird, but I have this set that I want to use, and I think I'm going to use these 3 guys on this one. I don't have the dies, so I will have to cut them out, so I'll probably pause while I do that. But I'll show you coloring them in. And I will show all of the coloring just so you have an idea as to how I color. It's kind of sporadic and not professional whatsoever, but then you can see how I color. So normally I would pause for most of it to show you how I color maybe one of them, but I'll show you all three. And then I'm going to ink blend a background, and then the sentiment is going to be this one, Happy Halloween, off of, I think it's an older set. I could be wrong, but I didn't know about this set, so I think it is from a different year release from Reverse Confetti, called Haunt It. And I just love the font that they use, and so I thought that would be cute. So I'm using Happy Halloween from that, and I'll probably emboss that in white on the background, and then do a little scene with the guys, maybe some pieces of candy or something. So I want to show you how I'm going to do the background. Oh, they're over here. So I'm just going to stick with the blue and the black, the Mermaid Lagoon and the Black Soot Distress Oxides I used last, because I don't want to change these out. Every time I touch them, my fingers turn whatever color this is. So I'm just going to do blue and black. I did a purple and black earlier today. So I'll set the stamps aside. Oops. So I'll just get these ready and set them on their ink pads. So to get more of like a focal point background, I'm going to do, this is purple tape. It is not the super expensive purple tape that has much less tape on the roll. It is just purple tape from Amazon, like painting tape. You can buy that and it's identical. And it's great for masking. So I'll link it down below because it is a lot cheaper, and I think when you're on a budget you shouldn't have to buy branded purple tape. Anyway, like I'm on a budget now. I spend all my money on crafting. Okay, so we're going to just do it. I'm trying not to bonk my head into where I'm filming you, but I'm going to tape it down exactly along the border. I'm trying to get that. Normally my head would be in your view. That's good enough for me. So instead of doing like doing the tape like half off or something, so this is going to be a smaller concentrated color area, I'm going to line this up with that, and it's held down at the sides, and then do the same on these edges, and just make sure your the inside is pushed down really well, because we don't want any ink to leak through. So this is taped down pretty good. Just press those down, get any dirt out of there. So the first thing we're going to do is just take the blue. I'll just use a little piece of scrap paper. Sometimes I dab off, it depends, but that's more with regular distress inks. The oxides are pretty blendable. I'm just going to blend the whole thing until it looks smooth. So blend the whole thing blue. Make sure I don't leave any white, and that it looks pretty much all the same. However you want to blend is fine. These oxides make it really, really easy to blend. And it doesn't look completely solid, but it does look pretty cool. So we're still going to use the blue in a little bit, but we're going to take a little bit of the black. And then kind of just do a little, like, I don't know, half circle. This will look a lot better in a minute, because this is where it's just easier to do the top, but I'm going to turn it around on the card. That's where they're going to be standing. So that's probably all the black I need. Then you take the blue again and just kind of go over the seams so that it's blended out. You can go over all of the black as well, and then finish off the rest of the blue with more blue so that it looks a little more blended. So that is it for those. I will set those aside, and then I'm going to peel this up. You want to do it slowly. It can catch on your paper, but it's still really good tape. And it is very crisp, and I love doing that part. So it's, especially in the edges, you want to make sure you don't like rip up from the corner, because it will probably rip your paper. Otherwise, it's not terribly sticky, but it does have to be a little sticky or else it won't work. All right. So now we have a gorgeous background, and this will be the bottom where they're standing. I'll probably have my sentiment up there in the middle, similar to the cards I've been showing you. The card on my Instagram that has a black background is because I had to trim, I put it on a black cardstock, but I had to trim it because I smudged some purple on the side and there was no way around it. So, clean that up with an alcohol swab. Alright, so I'm just going to dry this a little bit because we're eventually going to do some embossing on it. So before I set it aside, I'm just going to dry the ink a little bit. Okay. Alright, so I'll set that aside, and I should have enough in my scraps to stamp these guys. Oops, gotta be careful pulling those off. I have a Newton's Nook stamp, a Halloween stamp, where I pulled the kitty off too quickly and I ripped his tail. And so I told them that, but I feel like I didn't really rip it off that fast. Like, I was pretty careful, but the tail curved. But they replaced it, so he's on his way. I will just do Memento ink. I'm sure there's many new ones out there, but I've just used Memento for so long. Because I will do Copic coloring, so we'll do this guy first. Perfect. And then these two guys. And I've never inked these up before, so that was the first stamp of those. This little hedgehog guy is so cute. Good for me. Okay, so then I will cut them out, make it a little bit easier. Separate them. Okay. So, for these guys, I think I will pick, I'll show you all the coloring, but I'm going to pause to pick out some colors for them, and I'll zoom in a little bit first for the coloring. Because usually what I do is I have all my markers in a box, and I look up at my hex chart that is on the wall, and kind of do it based off of what I have, and then I have to find them in the box. So I will pick those out and I'll be right back. Okay, so I got some markers out, and by some I mean a lot. It turns out most of these guys are probably brownish. I think that's a fox, I think that's a squirrel, and I'm pretty sure that's a hedgehog. So for the fox, I'm probably going to go with some E09 and E08 for some like reddish foxiness, and then some darker W grays for his little, that probably won't focus, I'm sorry, for his little bat thing. And then his pumpkin, I will just color that now. I have YR16. Hopefully this isn't too close. So I'm just going to color a little bit of that and then fill in the rest with YR15. And just blend it out a little bit. Easy peasy. Oh, this guy has one too. They both have pumpkins. I should probably clean my marker tips at some point, but oh well. Okay. Alright, and then their little noses. I'm just using R22. I usually just grab whatever pink, and everyone's noses are pink. Sorry, I'll try and stay in view here. Okay, so I'm going to do this little guy's wrap. I'm just going to use C2 and C1, so keep it pretty light. And I'll just kind of come in from both sides, just kind of flick in some. And these colors are just amazing because it already looks like it's just, you know, shaded, or some light is on it. And all I've done is just flick in a little bit. So, I love Copics. They are amazing. Then I'll just take C1 and just kind of blend it out to the middle. This is probably even too dark for whatever he's wrapped in. I'm sure it's supposed to be more white, but that's fine. Like, I don't know, toilet paper or something. Okay, and then for him, I guess he's a little bit lighter, so I'm just gonna kind of flick in some from his little hair tips, and then blend it out with a lighter color. So this one is E33 Sand. Maybe his little arms and feet. Pretty small to get in there. And then I'll use E34 Toast to blend that out. This looked lighter to me, but I think it might be a little bit different. So I might throw in some darker colors. Their little hairs are very like multicolored on the same strand almost. So I'll probably grab a darker color. Let's see. I think I need an even lighter color. And I didn't grab one, so I'm gonna use, let's see, I'll use E11, Barely Beige, and just try and blend some of that out and use that for his ears and his face. Because they're kind of milky colored in their middle. And then I'll use this for the bottom. And try and blend that a little bit. You can kind of blend anything if you just do it long enough. The alcohol in the markers kind of bleeds out eventually, so that works. Do this one too. Okay. So he's pretty cute. I will cut him out when after I do the other two. So let's do the fox. I have E09 and E08. I'm going to try and do some foxy coloring. So just bring a little bit down from here, and then under here. And I'm not terribly good at, you know, shading things, or I don't even know if there's going to be any light source on this card anyway, but just kind of under stuff where something might be shadowy is where I put the darker colors. And then I'll blend out with this one, just kind of go over the original E09. This is E08. And just make sure I blend out those lines that I made, and that works for me. Just so it's not super obvious that all I made was lines. And then sometimes I just have to use this super, super fine tip of the marker to get into little tiny places. This is his arm. Okay, and then the rest of his face. And then I'll do his, oh, I just realized I said I would add some dark color flicks to the hedgehog, so I'll do that in a second. Okay. So this is only 2 colors. If I have more room, I'll generally do 3, like for his, oh, that's his body too, hang on. This area. So a little bit of EO9, the rest with EO8. Oops. I don't know what color his belly is going to be. So like for his thing, I have W9, W7, and W5 for his little bat ears hat. So I will just do, I don't like using black in these instances, it's just too dark for me. But I'll do some here. I usually use either the W9 or the, God, what's the other one? I don't have neutrals, C9. I don't have the N markers, and I won't cover their eyes with anything too dark, or they won't have eyes anymore. So then I'll just drag some of this out with the next W7. Kind of blend that, blend a little of that. And I won't go over his eyes with this one either, it's still too dark. So then, W5 for the rest of it. I'm hoping I wasn't out of view, I'm sorry. So W5, I'll take down the rest of the ears, and then just kind of keep going over, covering the whole area in his eyes so we can still see them. But then keep blending. And the more you blend, you can kind of see it if you're up close to it, you can kind of see it evaporating, the alcohol in it, as you're coloring. So you just have to keep coloring and coloring and coloring, and it will eventually blend together. This also helps if you know what you're doing when it comes to shading and where to put the shading, but this works fine for me. It just looks like blended coloring to me. And then I'll use a, let's see, a lighter pink for his ears. This is RV52. We'll just make them pink, because why not? And then his cape, I want purple, so I'm going to use V17 and V15, and I'll just, you know, start up there, and then I'll probably just go down the side with V17, and then fill in the rest with the V15. Again, there's not a whole lot of room, or I'd probably do a little V09 for the darkest purple if I had a little more space, but these two on their own blend pretty well, even though 15 is a pretty light purple. If you just keep going over it, it'll blend, because you can see how that looks pretty different. But if you just keep blending, the alcohol and the markers kind of does the work for you, like in people who drink it. Just keep going over it, blending. You can even go back and add more of the darker one, but see, now that looks perfectly fine to me. And then this one is such a small area, I really just need to fill it in. You're not going to notice much blending anyway. But these guys are just too cute. Okay, so he's almost done except for his tail. I'm going to just do, I don't know, I'll do an E15 and an E99. I am looking up at my chart right now. E15, E99. Sometimes I have a hard time finding them. E15 is lighter somehow, even though it really doesn't look like it, just based on the cap. So I will do a little bit of E99 at the base, and then the rest in E15. Oops. I have to cut these guys to the line anyway, so coloring out of the line is fine. Oh, I need to do his middle. So probably go with a lighter one or a lighter two. So let's use E34 and E33. Those might be too close together. Let's see. I'm going to try E35 and E34 and see how that goes. This might not really match him that well, but oh well. I don't know what color foxes are, or if he's even a fox. If you think he's something else, feel free to tell me below. Okay, so I'll set him aside, and then for the porcupine, let me grab something. We'll do E99, and I'll just do little hedgehoggy. That's getting a little smudgy. Less flicky than I wanted. There. Just so he has a little bit, I didn't do that as well as I wanted to, but that way he has a little bit of texture looking. I don't know if he's focusing. Let me tap my screen. There. Okay. So there's him, and then we have what I think is a squirrel, because I don't think squirrels have ears, but I could be wrong. Okay. So I have a bunch of different browns out. I think I'm going to start with something pretty dark. I'll probably use a lot of these. This is E29, which is a really pretty brown, but it's kind of dark. Let me make sure he's being focused on. There we go. So I'll just do a little bit in his ear, and then a little bit under the hat, and maybe around there. It's not as dark as I thought it was, but that's a good thing, because I didn't want it to be so dark that it almost looked black. So let's put some on his arm. And then around his tail. So E29 is pretty far away from other markers that I own on the hex chart. It's at least 2 little hexes away from another color that I have. But let's see, the next one is like an E37. So I will use that one. Maybe blend some of this out. And then I'll probably use a third lighter marker to color the rest of him. So I'm just going over the lines that I made and making sure to at least blend those out a little bit. And his arms, and his little feet. And then here. So I won't be putting the lighter color in here so much, but it can be around it. So then, let's see, that was E37. I think I'll go with E35. Okay, so then for the rest of him, that's his ear, so that'll be pink. E35 seems to be the closest to me that I have for blending. Like I said, this is one that you're going to have to blend probably a little more. It looks kind of silly with one go over, but if you just keep doing it and going over it and pulling it out, it'll do the rest for you. And I'm going to do his mouth in this color, and I'll use a, actually no, I think I'll just leave that one color. But we'll keep blending the rest of his face. And then his tail. Oops. Well, again, I'm cutting him out, so it's okay if I go out of the lines on this one. If I had the die cuts, then there would be a bubble around him. And this video is getting very, very long. I'm so sorry, but I wanted to show you all of the coloring, and I promised that I would. I'll probably do his belly in a lighter color. Just want to make sure I'm blending out all those dark spots. He turned out pretty cute. I don't know, I'm not a professional squirrel watcher, so unless I Google a bunch of squirrels, I don't really know what color they are, but that's okay. That works for me. And then the lighter pink that I have, this is a different one, but it's RV10, I will use for his ears. And you can almost even blend the pink into what was there if it looked a little too harsh, and it's pink into brown. So just, again, the alcohol kind of pushes itself around and does the work for you. I knew I wanted to give him a little blue bow tie. I just grabbed B04 and BG53. These are not that, they're a couple, they're like 3 away from each other on the chart, but that's okay. It's a very tiny bow. So I'm going to just do the edges in the darker blue and then fill in the rest with the lighter blue. And they are different blues, but that looks fine to me. And then I'm still loving this purple combo, so his hat is going to be purple just like the other guy's cape.